What's up, YouTube? It's Cody from Team MPG Games today, and we are bringing you a ABC little Cyber Dragon Infinity build here today on the channel. So, hope you guys enjoy. A couple pointers before we start the video. This entire deck list will be in the link of the description below, so be sure to check that out. If you don't want to watch the entire video, you can go ahead and check down there. It'll have the entire deck list. But if you want to know in details on why I run them, you know, some tips and all that, be sure to stay tuned to the video. And also one more little pointer before we get going. Team MPG Games does have a Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter now. So the names of those and the all that fun stuff will be on the screen during the video and also in the description below. So I'm going to ask you guys to check out those links as well. It'll let you know more when we upload videos, what we're doing in our personal lives, and some tips and tricks about the current game as it changes if we can't upload to YouTube right away. So be sure to check those out, and yeah, if you remember, if you do like this deck build or profile, be sure to leave a like or a comment of anything you would put into it to improve. And yeah, on that, let's get going. We're going to start off with the main deck first, and like I said, this is a Cyber Dragon Infinity build, so we're going to be running a lot of machine-type monsters. And I do run a couple cards in here that I don't see run all the time, but as far as the ABCs, it's pretty standard. So without further ado, let's get into it. So you want to start off with AAA, Triple B, and Triple C. So if you don't know what they do, basically they're level 4 machine-type Union monsters. They can be equipped to other monsters on the field. They can be searched throughout the deck with Union Hangar, the field spell. And they make a lot of good plays themselves. They float really easily. They all have their own individual effects in the grave. And when they're equipped to monsters, A, when it's equipped to a monster, it cannot be destroyed by battle. B, it's by spell. And then C, it's by trap effects. So yeah, those are pretty self-explanatory. I'm pretty sure you guys all know what those do. And they each have their own effects when they're in the grave. But yeah, triple of each is pretty standard. You don't want to run like 2 of one or 2 of the other. And then next, since it's Cyber Dragon Infinity build, we're going to be running 3 of Galaxy Soldiers. Since most of the monsters, if not all the monsters, are light type, you just basically ditch one of those, special him from hand. You get his effect once special to add another from deck to hand. And if you have another light machine in your hand, it's in Infinity, or not a light machine, just a general light monster. So you want to run 3 of those, standard as well. Next, I kind of put in double gold and double silver gadget, and this is really easy, not really easy, but really self-explanatory as well. Because if you normal one, you can special 1 level 4 lower machine type from your hand, so it gets any Union, any A, B, or C out, special summons them, and you still get the effect if you have Union Hangar on board. And then once these are destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special level 1 gadget monster from your deck, except the gold or the silver. So like, if your gold is destroyed, you special summon the silver. If your silver is destroyed, vice versa. It's pretty self-explanatory on those. The next is a card that I kind of had a tip from my buddy John, who's also part of Team MPG Games, and that is Jumbo Drill. And this card you only want to run if you do the Infinity build, but it's a really easy way to get out Infinity, even more easier than Galaxy Soldier. So basically what you do is, if he's normal summoned, you can increase all the levels of the machine type monsters you control by 1. So if you have 1 gadget and 1 A, B, or C, that's an Infinity, you know, or, you know, you can make multiple Infinities on each other. So it's a pretty good card. Unfortunately, it does take up your normal summon, but if you run Infinity, that's a really easy way to get them out as well. But I run them at 1. You can probably do them at 2. I don't see more than 2, though, in my opinion. So next, to round out the monsters, we just have double Maxx C. You can switch these out for anything, Gamma Seals, effect failures, you know, Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. It's, you know, but special summoning's a lot in the game right now, so I just main 2 Maxx C for the draw power. So next, onto our spells. This is pretty staple as well. You want to run 3 copies of Union Hangar, the field spell, and also 3 Terraformings, because you want to see Union Hangar as much as possible. So if you run 3 and 3, you're basically running 6 Union Hangars. In a nutshell, what Union Hangar does is if you activate it, you can add a level 4 or lower Union monster from your deck. So you can add A, B, or C. And then when a level 4 Union monster or any Union monster is normal or special summon, you can equip one Union monster directly from deck to the monster. So you can get 2 out on board really easily. So if you see this guy in your opening hand or a Terraforming, that's definitely a really good sign. Unfortunately, if it does get MST'd or Twin Twistered, you better have another in the hand or else it could stall out. So going first, in my opinion, is the better option with this deck. So the next we run 1 of Raigeki for obvious reasons. Monster removals, never a bad thing. And the next we run 2 Transmodified for the Infinity as well. What you do with him is you send 1 face-up monster you control to the graveyard and special summon 1 monster with the same type and attribute from your deck. So if you have an A, B, or C on board, play Transmodify, send them to the grave, special summon a Galaxy Soldier. You get Galaxy Soldier's effect to add another. Just another easier way to make Infinity. And if you know anything about A, B's, or C's, when they're sent to the grave, it doesn't hurt them at all. So that's always a plus. So then next we're going to run 2 Twin Twisters for spell and trap removal. And then rounding out the spells, I do 1 Foolish Burial instead of the Upstart, just because sending 1 A, B, or C to deck's never a bad thing. Sometimes you're in that situation where you have 2 on board and you need the 3rd. So that's where he comes in. And also another pointer I wanted to tell you guys is I am going over a side deck that I use for this right after the extra deck. So stay tuned for that if you want to know how to side with them. So then next we run 3 of Solemn Strike. I run 3 because special summoning, like I said, it's really important right now. You can switch out the 3rd for a Warning if you're facing a deck that Warning would play. So that's pretty self-explanatory though. 3 strikes. And then next we're going to run 2 Anti-Spell Fragrances. This card is so good right now. I'm expecting it to get limited or banned, honestly. It's just too good. Pretty much any top deck right now utilizes spell and traps. So, like, even for instance in the mirror match, if you go turn 1, you have your Union Hangar already on board, you flip this, and, you know, mirror match, they can't really do as much as you can. So unless they out it with Twin Twisters, which they can't do anyway because they got to set it. Yeah, that's anti-spell. I run 2 of these. I side the 3rd for reasons. So last but not least of the main deck, we run 1 Vanitys Emptiness. Pretty self-explanatory as well. If you get a great board and you can flip Vanities on your opponent, that's never a bad thing as well, because if you lock them out of the special summon, you can have game. So yeah, that's the main deck. 40 cards, no Upstart. Like I said, I switched the Foolish out for the Upstart. So next we're going to go on to the extra deck, which you want to run 3 of ABC Buster Dragon. This guy is a must at 3, and probably the most powerful monster in your deck. During your opponent's turn, you can tribute this bad boy out, get 3 of your banished Union monsters back, in which you have to banish A, B, and C from field or grave in order to summon this guy anyway, so it's just recycling. And if somebody drops Raigeki, it's really good to use his effect, tribute him off, special summon those. You get all your ABCs back in the graveyard, so next turn you can bring them out. That's what I usually do. So you want to run 3 of those, and then he also has a really good effect where you can ditch 1 card from your hand and banish any monster or card on the field. So that's a quick play as well, so it's really great. And then next we're going to run 1 Nova and 1 Infinity. For obvious reasons, this deck utilizes Infinity. In fact, it really wants to use Infinity, and the whole point of this build is to try to get it out first turn, as well as your Buster Dragon. Because if you can get those out, it's really good. And next we run 1 Bujintei Tsukuoymi. Really good in the deck. You detach 1, so let's say you hook him up with a gadget or an A, B, or C. You actually summon him, detach the A, B, or C, send your entire hand to the grave, and draw 2 cards. So if your hand has any A, B, or C's that need to be on the field or in the grave, it's really good in the deck. U plus really good off of it. I'd even run him at 2 if I had a second one, but he's gone up in price really bad. So one of those, if I can get my hands on a second one, I would run it. So next we run 2 Diamond Dire Wolves. This is probably the one I would cut down to 1 to put the extra Tsukuoymi in it. But this guy is not bad at all. You detach 1, destroy 1 card on the field plus your you just destroy 1 monster you control and 1 other card on the field. So you can destroy him and destroy something else. I run him at 2. And then next we run 1 Utopia and 1 Utopia The Lightning. Self-explanatory as well. Really good to get over big boss monsters. Then next we run 1 Abyss Dweller for obvious reasons. Negating graveyard effects is so key. It even works against the mirror match. Set up a Buster Dragon and 1 of these in the mirror match. You're going to have a great time. And then next 1 Daigusto Emeral to recycle. 1 Castel to shuffle. Monsters back into your opponent's deck. And then last but not least, 1 Silent Honor Arc to you just use them in some instances, so that's why I run 1 of him. So that's the extra deck, and now we'll go on to the side deck. Alright, onto the side deck, and I do apologize, I do have a couple proxies in here, but I will put a picture up of the card when I have it, because I don't have my copies right now. A couple buddies borrowed them, so I'll be getting them back, but unfortunately I didn't have them for this video. But anyway, the side deck, it's really standard. There are some expensive cards in here, but if you can get your hands on them, they can win you a lot of matches. So I play 3 of Ghost Reaper, which if I play Burning Abyss or ABCs in the mirror match, or anything that has a card that can really disrupt ABCs, I will immediately put 3 into the deck for round 2. Immediately. It's just such a great card. I can see this. It's starting to get powerful, and it's kind of cringing me out a little bit because of the ban list. So I can see that getting hit, but it's so crucial, so crucial. The next, I run 1 of Ignister in case he's a target, because he's really a dangerous thing against ABCs. And then 1 Dante for obvious reasons for the Winter Cherries target if you're playing Burning Abyss. 1 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon if you're playing Blue Eyes. They're pretty hard matchup as well against ABCs. Not really, but they have some boss monsters. So if you can Ghost Reaper out Spirit Dragon, it's not a bad thing. Which you run a lot of interchangeable cards in both the main and side deck. Like, for instance, if I was playing Blue Eyes, I would side out an Honor Arc or something. But, yeah. And then I play 1 Union Scramble for the mirror match. You could even bump it up to 2. It's just really good in the mirror match. Next, I side the 3rd anti-spell if I'm running against a Pendulum deck or anything that's really difficult to play and can stop me. And then the 3rd Twin Twister if I have to remove spell and traps. Next, I play 2 of Flying Seas. I can even change this out for Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. It's just so good because a lot of people XC, and even against the mirror match, if you throw that down, it could disrupt some plays because usually Tsukuoymi can start the ABC engine to get the ABC Buster Dragon out there. So if you get out Flying Sea, it's not really that hard to get over. And then I run 1 of Solemn Warning, Blue Rare. Just had to put that in there. And then I just side the Solemn Warning just in case I have to put it in. And then I do 2 of Gamma Seals. Like I said, these are my proxies, so I'll put a picture on the screen somewhere of what it actually does. Really good against any deck. Mirror match, Raid Raptors. If you have an Ultimate Falcon you have to face, Gamma Seal is always a good thing to have on your side of the field. And then last but not least, I tech in a Soul Drain, which this could be teched in and out for Skill Drain. I like Soul Drain, though, because it halts Burning Abyss. It halts not necessarily Yangtze Metaphors, I guess, to a point, and the Mirror Match. It's just an amazing card because of things that activate in the grave. So yeah, that's the deck, 40-card deck, 15-card extra deck, and of course 15-card side deck. So if you like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Team MPG Games is going to be starting to get more active. We have regionals coming up this weekend, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, this is Cody from Team MPG Games, signing out.